Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Man, it's gonna be hard to decide which one is more stacked. UFC 225 or UFC 226. Now right now we've got to go with UFC 225 because we can see it on paper. UFC 226 though, it is starting to fill out, and every single fight so far for UFC 226 is also a big fight. Now UFC 226 is going to be headlined by champion versus champion super fight. Miocic, the heavyweight champion, defending his belt against the light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier, who's moving up trying to win his second belt. So that's going to be a card that's been talked about like the UFC's Super Bowl. Possibly more champion versus champion super fights added to that card. That looks a little less likely, but at least definitely another title fight on top of fights like this that was just added to the card, which was between Paulo Costa and Uriah Hall. Paulo Costa announced this on social media, not the UFC, but Paulo Costa and Uriah Hall were originally supposed to fight at a fight night. I believe Atlantic City actually, which is coming up this weekend. Paulo Costa was forced out with a biceps injury, but now he's taken to social media and he posted and said that him and Uriah Hall has been rebooked officially for UFC 226. Now, I don't think the fighter would take to social media and announce this if he wasn't sure that, you know, his opponent had signed the bout and, you know, wasn't confirmed on his part. He might have jumped the gun a little bit as far as announcing the fight because the UFC hasn't officially announced the fight, but I do believe we can officially book it that Paulo Costa is going to be fighting Uriah Hall at UFC 226, which is going to be a fun fight. I think Paulo Costa is going to come in here as the favorite. This is really interesting because Uriah Hall, man, whew, he's getting thrown to the wolf a little here, and it comes after, you know, he was supposed to fight Vitor Belfort at a fight night, but he had that seizure, I believe. You know, it was a health scare, ended up missing weight, and Dana White came out afterward and said, like, the UFC Performance Institute let him know Uriah Hall was kind of messing around before the fight or went out to a club or something. Uriah Hall disputed it, had a little back and forth with Dana White, and now he didn't get the Vitor Belfort fight. Vitor Belfort's actually fighting Lyoto Machida at UFC 224. Now, instead of fighting the Brazilian legend, he's fighting the young Brazilian Thundercat, Paulo Costa, the prospect coming through looking like a Greek god, like a Hulk. He low-key looks like a human, the Hulk actually though. And he's gonna be, that's who Uriah Hall's got to fight now. The fight's rebooked, UFC 226, it's on a big stage, but we have seen Uriah Hall, you know, pull off crazy upsets in the past. I mean, he's got a win over Gegard the GOAT, Gegard Mousasi. So, gonna be a fun fight. I'm probably leaning toward Paulo Costa, but check out the UFC 226 card just so far. We got Miocic versus Cormier, Rafael Sunsao versus Rob Font, Gokhan Saki, the kickboxing legend, returning against Khalil Roundtree, Yancy Medeiros versus Mike Perry, Paulo Costa versus Uriah Hall. All of these fights are announced, and that this is only 4 fights. You know, this fights, we probably still got 6 more fights to be announced for this card, and they're all probably going to be equally as dope. And these fights, you know, are insane, but these aren't even the biggest fights to be added to this card. So UFC 226 definitely going to be fun. This is another fun fight that was just added. Let the full-time family know what you think about Paulo Costa versus Uriah Hall and the UFC 226 card so far in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.